So good afternoon again, and welcome everyone to Streamlining Medical Student Performance Evaluation Letter using a collaborative approach using Stanford 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃 website. My name is Queenita Bunney, and I work as the product owner and business analyst within the Academic Application Services Group, which is part of the Technology and Digital Solutions called TDS. The TDS team supports the School of Medicine through several service groups, and Academic Application Services, or AAS, is one of these service groups that works closely with the school community to create web-based applications serving the needs of students, educators, researchers, clinicians, and the wider school community. Today, I have with me my co-host, 𝗀𝗏𝗃𝗁𝗂𝗏, and he works as a senior software engineer within the same team. Starting with AI at Stanford, we have some strict guidelines here at Stanford. One of such guidelines is the Responsible AI Guideline, which details Stanford's approach and provides guidance on ethical use of AI, emphasizing principles like safety, fairness, and privacy, fostering cross-disciplinary collaboration across teams to develop and deploy AI systems responsibly. Stanford's University IT, or UIT, also has published some best practices for using AI, emphasizing responsible, transparent, and secure use, particularly regarding the high-risk or sensitive data. Stanford University also has a website on GenAI tool evaluation matrix, which lists all the AI tools, its approved uses, and also the data risk classifications for the university community so that they can use the AI tools confidently while keeping all the data safe. Some of the key tools and platforms mentioned within this matrix include Stanford 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃 and Stanford AI Playground. Today, I want to talk about Stanford 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃. Now, 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃 is the only generative AI platform at Stanford Medicine that is approved for use with high-risk or sensitive data, which includes protected health information, PHI, and personally identifiable information, or PII. Now, this tool has been developed for Stanford Healthcare and School of Medicine users, and it provides a secure HIPAA-compliant space to explore AI tools for real-world applications like clinical and administrative tasks. The data within the school has been classified as low, moderate, and high risk, and this is the only tool where we can use with the high-risk data. Something to also note is that 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃 is only approved for users within Stanford Medicine and no one outside at the current moment. One of the real-world applications where we used 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃 prompts is the Medical Student Performance Evaluation Letter, or the MSPE. It was formerly known as the Dean's Letter, and it is a comprehensive summary of the medical students' performance during their medical school training here at Stanford. It is a required document for all residency applications, and it provides residency program directors with an objective overview of the students' experiences, their attributes, and their academic performance while at the university. A little bit of an overview of the MSPE letter. The EPS, or the Educational Programs and Services Department, here within the School of Medicine, generates around 90 plus MSPEs each year from June to September every year. They currently generate it as a Word document, and it includes various sections like the students' noteworthy characteristics, their academic history, evaluation of their academic performance, and overview of their clerkships and research projects. And also in the end, it's got like an overall summary section. This document needs to adhere to Stanford's style guide and also formatting requirements. This document is currently edited by a lot of users, and it goes over multiple editing cycles. Some of these users include the registrar's office staff, the student services staff, medical student research staff, a content editor, the students themselves, their academic advisors, and also the associate dean for academic advising. Since it goes through so many editing cycles, it can be prone to mistakes and human errors. And this is where we come in. The TDS department worked with EPS to develop and implement the MSPE AI solution. This provides generative AI prompts within 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃. Now, as you know, 𝗀𝗃𝗏𝗃 is a Stanford-hosted generative AI platform, which is safe and is approved for use with high-risk data, like the student data. The secure GPT AI prompts allowed our EP's users to generate the content for various sections within the MSPE document, adhering to their Stanford style guide. It also helped fix styling and formatting issues within the document. And lastly, it helped to create a summary of the students' accomplishments, coursework, clerkships, as well as their performance. Now I want to pass on to Ryan, and he will give us an MSPE AI demo of how we use these generative prompts to create content within the MSPE layer.
Okay, great. Thank you, Queenie. So how is everything looking on y'all's end?
Good.
Great. All right, so a quick demo of the MSPE template process that we use through SecureGPT. First off, you can see here we are at SecureGPT's homepage, where we are able to pick from various different models and carry on conversations very much similar to like you would be familiar with, say, ChatGPT. However, we have access to a multitude of different models. For our particular solution, we settled on one. If people are curious, feel free to ask questions and we can go into more details later. But to jump over to the template itself, this is what we end up using as the main prompt. The entire file is technically the prompt. The top section here is the instructions that you would have in, say, any other sort of GPT instance talking to an LLM, where it lays out what to do. The bulk of it tells it to mostly reference the actual letter that we'll paste in later, and then all of the style guide instructions. It is somewhat of a lengthy document, but it is mostly all of the style guide, the abbreviation instructions, and all the other pitfalls that have been ironed out as we develop this. So don't be too intimidated by how big it is. It's really just a big set of instructions that would be not too dissimilar from, say, a style guide that you would pass around to actual people. Over here, we have a sample MSPE. It is based on EPS's own MSPE template. And at the beginning of each MSPE cycle every year, there's a few people who go in and gather all of the various evaluations and reports and reviews for each student's clerkship, and they add them in here to the template file itself in its raw format, however it was written by the evaluator or the preceptor. What we've done with our template is we can now take this entire document, select all, copy, take it over here to our template file, replace this line like it says, and then do a select all, copy. Then we come back to SecureGPT, start a new chat, go down to Google Gemini 2.5, paste in the entire file we just copied, and let it run. Now, this can take anywhere between 20 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on the complexity and content of the actual template, or rather of the MSP itself. Now, not every MSPE as it comes in has all of the data right away, but the way our template file is written, it should be very flexible by only modifying and updating the ones that are available, so that every time you run it, it comes through and provides you the latest version of it all. The main goals with this template itself was that we wanted to have a unified voice for the entire letter itself, because the evals come from different people. We wanted to make sure that we kind of tried to unify the grammar, the syntax, the various other fine points that comes with trying to have a unified document. Now, as this is actually outputting, some of you may notice that there seems to be a lot of HTML in here, and you'd be right. Currently, SecureGPT is in beta, and one of its limitations in beta is that it's unable to generate documents directly as output. So to work around this, as this finishes up, we actually instructed the LLM on how to actually generate HTML as an output. So if we come all the way down here to the bottom, you can actually see a lot of the HTML instructions and templates to use for generating this actual letter. Now, you might be wondering, why HTML? So if we come back up here, copy the entire letter, drop it here in this demo output file. You can see the entire letter is now here in a nice, pretty HTML. If we come back into Word and open our HTML file, helps if I save the file. Do that one more time. All right. Word does a very good job of processing HTML directly back into a Word format. So now we have our revised, edited, formatted, style guided, and unified voice MSPE letter ready to go for final review. We've had a lot of success with this. The customer seems very happy with what we've been able to put together. And with the way it all works together, it actually has done a very good job. As sort of a minor final note, when you do generate this from the HTML file, if you want to do a quick save as, and then change from HTML to docx, now it's officially a Word doc. And that's it. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we will try and get to them after Queenie finishes up. So I will hand it back to you, Queenie.
Great. Thank you, Ryan. Okay. Great. Okay, so benefits of using AI for the MSPE letter. As we have just seen, the MSPE letter was generated, or content within it was generated using the generative AI prompts. So some of the benefits of doing that is the EPS users can now focus their time on gathering evaluative information, not just style and formatting. The secure GPT prompts improve operational efficiency by quickly generating the content and avoiding human errors with the back and forth editing cycles. And also by introducing this AI process to EPS, it has saved them time and resources, reducing the number of people involved in the process. So all in all, it's a great solution, once you have the prompts to use them. Now, how does the AI deployment lifecycle work here at Stanford? Stanford uses what we call the FIRM framework, or the Fair, Useful, and Reliable AI Model Framework, to assess and evaluate the different AI models on the market. And we also use prompt engineering to design and refine the input prompts to effectively guide the behavior of the AI models before they're deployed to the market. This prompt engineering lifecycle begins first with a clear business need and followed by the prompt design, testing and optimizing of this design, and deploying it with version control, and finally, monitoring and refinement. Now, something we make sure is that all solutions that we deploy are testable. It's not enough just to document the solution. We have to make sure we can test the solution and that the testing is repeatable. So we have to also make sure that as the models change on us, our test cases are still applicable. Solutions must also be monitorable, which means that users can change their behavior over time. So we have to still make sure that the output still meets the business need. So we have to continuously monitor the solution. And lastly, the solutions must also be upgradable. This is not a one and done kind of plan. We have to make sure that we are always updating the model or the plan because it's a process. It's not just a one and done thing. So if you ever want to use this approach at your organization, you to just make sure that the plan follows the fair, is fair, useful, and reliable. Next, we want to move on to the Stanford 7 Guiding AI Principles. So in January 2025, the Provost Committee published a report on Stanford's 7 AI Guiding Principles that established the framework for use of AI at Stanford. These 7 principles were created to balance the university's mission of innovation with the need for responsible and ethical use of AI across the various streams like research, administration, and education. The principles emphasize fairness, accountability, and innovation while safeguarding the security and privacy of data, and also help promote trust with our various AI deployments. If you're interested in the full report, I have a link at the bottom here, so that lists not only these 7 principles, but lots of other information within the report. So we do not have time to go through all the 7 principles, but the one I want to highlight is the first one, which is human oversight. When working with AI tools, it is important to keep a human in the loop. We have to ensure that people are in charge of the tools they use, their development, and also what they're doing. At the end of the day, each one of us is responsible for what we ask the tool to generate. So it's very important that we make ethical use of AI. And with that, we come to an end of our presentation. I hope you've had a chance to learn more about the innovative uses of generative AI and using the prompts, at least in this case, to generate some content within the MSPE, and how we approach the solution in a secure and confidential environment. And if you want to get in touch with us, this is my contact information here at the bottom. And if you have any questions for us, we can, please post them in the chat box so I can have a look.
Queenie, this is Celeste. Can I make a comment?
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much. That was great to see the demo, and we really appreciate your partnership. And I just wanted to highlight that last slide that you mentioned, the human alignment and the human touch. And that was definitely part of the process, that after the AI results, then we would go back and review the results and kind of compare it, see what the differences were. And also with the summary, just use it as a starting place for that human piece. So I think it was a good example of using both the AI technology and the human part of it to complete the editing process.
Thank you, Celeste. And I agree. It is, I think, it's emerging technology, but at the same time, it's a very iterative process where both not only the AI tools, but we definitely need the human interaction and feedback, and we repeat the cycle till we get to what we're after. So thank you, Celeste. Appreciate your partnership too. Anyone else with any questions, comments? Alrighty. So if you have nothing else, thank you everyone for joining us this afternoon. We appreciate your time, and we hope you have a good afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that was great.
Thanks, Juliana. Yeah, looks like the spotlighting worked so great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for that. That was an awesome demonstration as well. I really liked watching that. That was good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Alrighty. See you later.
Take care.